Hey my fellow car enthusiasts and DIYers, I hope you guys can see me because right now my big camera is dead, the battery died, so I'm using a GoPro. It's a chilly -22 give or take. And as some of you know, if you followed my videos, my manifold has been leaking on my truck, so I finally got a new one in and I'm finally about to change it. That and the fact that my truck's not really running right now, so I'm hoping fixing the manifold will fix the other problems, but one step at a time. And I figured since I got to fix my manifold and it's in about -20, let's do a little cold start on it. My dad was having trouble starting his Chev over there, and it was only sitting for a couple days. This thing has been sitting, my truck has been sitting for about 2 weeks now. So let's crank her over and see what happens. Oh. Never fails. No matter what happens, this truck always starts. So I'm gonna let it warm up a bit so I can move it into the work area. Wish I could say move it into the garage, but I live in a field right now. So hopefully by then my good camera is charged, so I'll get a bit better video. But yeah, stay tuned. And I'm back. And now that my battery's charged on my good camera, I can get to this. While the battery was charging, I went ahead and tried to take the manifold off down there. But as you can probably see, those bolts are a little rusty. Come on, stop autofocusing. Come on. There we go. The bolts are stuck on there. And quite frankly, I don't have the time or the patience, let alone the proper tools if one of the bolts break. So I'm going to get a mechanic to do that. Nothing wrong with that. If you can't do the job, why bust your knuckles for nothing, right? So instead of shooting a video on that, I'm going to change my ignition coil. Because I've been talking to people, 3 people in specific. I told them what my problem was, how it's truck will run, starts no problem, as you seen in the video here earlier. Starts no problem, will run fine when it's cold. As soon as it gets to operating temperature, it'll spitter and spatter and sputter. And if you're on the highway, so you're doing 110 kilometers, if you're in overdrive, it'll just die down, no power. So you put it into drive, so you drop it down a gear. Basically, if you keep it between 2,500 and 3,000 RPMs, it'll run. It'll stay going, barely. And then if you were to step on it to accelerate to pass someone or something, it'll just die, just dead. And I've had 3 people tell me it's the ignition coil. And for 50 bucks, why the heck not give it a try? Because the new one looks a lot prettier anyways than the old one. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off, swap it out, and hopefully that makes a difference. Of course. Downside to working in the cold. Everything breaks. Just broke the little tab off here. That's supposed to look like that. And apparently the bottom casing that goes there. Hopefully they weren't too important. Oh, got lucky there. Alright, so now that she's loose, I can get access to that cable down there, and I can disconnect that little one right there. And then, hopefully she'll just pop out. Maybe with a little bit of persuasion. So let's go ahead and take those ones out. Now, the fact that it's cold is going to be a pain in the ass, because things break in the cold. So I don't want to force this too much. Actually, I don't even need to take that piece off. Cool, don't need to disconnect this little guy. I'll just have to attempt to take off this little nut thingy right here, there. Or maybe just bend it out of the way carefully. Yeah, that works. Oh, and there are little tiny screws holding it down, which again is going to be a pain in the ass. But so far it's been going good, so let's see. Okay. I forgot to grab myself a flat screwdriver to pop off the little prongs that keep it down. So I'll be right back. Okay. So to save you guys some video time and some boring moments, I went ahead and took the clip off, which was just the little thing here there. And I also went ahead and took off the 4 little screws, which turned out to be a 5.5 mil, roughly 1/4 inch, I think. Come on, focus. There you go. So yeah, they came out pretty easy. Just gonna stick these in the box so I don't lose them. There you go. And yeah, that's the old one. That's the old, I already forgot what it's called. Ignition coil, there you go. So I'm just gonna bring it in the house to let this plastic case here that goes around the what looks to be a magnet warm up, so that way there I can take it off, because the new one doesn't have it. The new one's just exposed, so that's obviously there to protect it. So I'm gonna let that warm up, or let this warm up I should say, so I can take it off without breaking it, because I've already broke this little clip here, the edge right there. You see how it's cracked? Because plastic don't like the cold. It's sitting at a minus, so cooled off since the cold starts, about minus 35 I think, minus 40 with the wind chill. But enough of me talking about the weather. Let's get this warmed up and switched out. Alright, so now that the plastic cover switched over, just put the 4 bolts back in. Hopefully I can do this without dropping any. Tighten them up. Surprised I'm actually able to do this with one hand so easily. And I spoke too soon. But anyways, so you tighten those up, connect the connectors, and we'll give it a try and see what happens. Alright, so the new ignition coil's in, all hooked up. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's running. So let's see now if she stays running. Idle for a bit, let it warm up, and come back, see if she stays running or not. Alright, so I just got back from taking her on a test drive. Unfortunately, I forgot my camera here, so I couldn't take you guys along with me. it is running better, just a bit better, but it's still acting up. When you drive, once it gets up to temperature and you get on it, it sputters and spitters and spatters, as I said before. It almost sounds like on the left side, the ignition's not strong enough. Like it's not quite misfiring. It's firing. It just, instead of being boom, it's just like a little pew type thing. Because with the exhaust leak, it's usually like brrr, like you heard it running, right? But it'll almost go quiet as if there's no exhaust leak on that side. So there's something there. So my next step, since the ignition coil was working, it is still good, but it did help. I'm going to pull the plugs next to see if what they look like, and also check the distributor to see if maybe that's fouling up somewhere, it's corrosion or whatever, and then go from there. So one step at a time, and I'm going to keep doing these videos to figure out the problem. And maybe if you guys have a similar problem, or have had a similar problem, maybe you can give me some input. But other than that, stay tuned.